And then you look at the competition. Look at the F-150 or the F-1 Lightning that came out last week. They have a battery that's roughly 170 kilowatt hours of battery versus Tesla's Model 3, which has 61 kilowatt hours of battery. Yet the F-150 costs the same as the Model 3. So it looks like Ford actually has an advantage in battery technology.
You believe the stock is worth $67 a share. Get there. Explain that. Just for transparency's sake, do you have what's your position, to the extent you have any position, related to Tesla?
Hey, I'm Stephen and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So today we are hearing from the Baron of BS, the class clown himself, Gordon Genius Johnson. I'm just going to leave that. Let's roll with this one. Who apparently believes that Ford has a battery technology advantage over Tesla. He also finally reveals whether or not he actually has a position in Tesla stock and continues to spread lies and disinformation about Tesla. So let's get into the video. And by the way, since I know there's a lot of crypto lovers watching and people who like free stuff, it's your lucky day. For a limited time, you can get up to $250 in free crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. It also helps out the channel. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $250 just for opening an account. And if you fund your account with $100, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $1,600. Unless you don't like free stocks, that is. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
About that. You believe the stock is worth $67 a share. Get there. Explain that, because the other piece of this is, yes, we've all talked about the credits now for quite some time and the value of those credits. Are you arguing those credits are gone for good ever again?
Andrew, we've had this discussion many times. Good question. Listen to this. You probably know this, but I just want to reiterate. Stellantis, which was their biggest credit customer, roughly 80% of their credit revenues in 2020, unexpectedly a few weeks ago said, we're done. We're buying no more credits from Tesla ever again. That's it. We expected them to buy $300 million this year. They said, we're done. We've said all along, Andrew, and you've pushed us on this, but we've said, listen, these credit sales are going to eventually disappear. Stellantis basically confirmed that a few weeks ago. You've not heard anybody talk about that. And then you look at next year, right? Next year, basically, Tesla admitted 2 quarters ago, their CFO said, the credit business is not our core business. It's going away.
I'm struggling to understand what Gordon's point is here. As he said, Tesla themselves have made it very clear that the sale of regulatory credits is not their core business and they're not going to continue forever. This is not news. Of course, there is still going to be a few years where there'll be other automakers buying these credits from Tesla. It's inevitable because some of them just can't get the volume up. The reason Stellantis doesn't need to buy credits in the future from Tesla is because of a recent merger. Some of the brands now in that merged conglomerate actually have enough production of electric vehicles to offset the need to buy credits from Tesla. This is not a surprise. You guys have heard me since day one on this channel saying the majority of the existing automakers today will either merge, be acquired, or go out of business before the end of this decade. This is one of those first mergers. There'll be many more to come. I'm struggling to understand where Gordon's coming from here. As he pointed out, Tesla has told us this isn't core to their business and these credits won't last forever. Yes, we already know that, Gordon. What's your point?
And then you look at the competition. Look at the F-150 or the F-1 Lightning that came out last week. They have a battery that's roughly 170 kilowatt hours of battery versus Tesla's Model 3, which has 61 kilowatt hours of battery. Yet the F-150 costs the same as the Model 3. So it looks like Ford actually has an advantage in battery technology.
Man, oh man, where do we even start with this one? So first of all, as I've said since day one on this channel, the only way for the so-called competition to be price competitive with Tesla, similar features, functionality, etc., is to, rather than enjoy very healthy profit margins, which Tesla does on every vehicle sold, to sell their vehicles with no margin, or even worse, with negative margins and lose money on every single vehicle sold, and then supplement those losses with some of the profits, temporary profits, from their dinosaurs, their Titanics, the internal combustion engine vehicles that they simultaneously sell. This is how every single automaker today that makes ICE vehicles is going to try to compete with Tesla on cost. They're going to suffer losses or make no money on these vehicles in the best case scenario just to have approximately similar sticker prices for their vehicles. Okay, so that's one point. And clearly Gordon doesn't know how to use a calculator, but lucky for me, I do. At least I think I do. So let's use one right now and try to understand what the fuck he just said. So in order to gauge the approximate efficiency of each of these battery packs per kilowatt hour, we need two numbers: the range of the vehicle and the size of the battery pack in kilowatt hours. We know both of these figures. Approximately 200 kilowatt hour battery pack in the Cybertruck long range, which achieves 500 miles of range, versus the extended range F-150 Lightning with 170 kilowatt hour battery pack, which achieves a whopping 300 miles of range. So let's do some really rough numbers just to get a gauge of the difference between the efficiency between Tesla and Ford in terms of their battery packs. Keeping in mind, Tesla, generally speaking, under-promises and over-delivers on the range of their vehicles. Ford, at this point in time, are targeting a range of 300 miles in the extended range F-150 Lightning. So who knows where it'll actually end up. In either case, let's do some quick math to notice the difference. If we divide the Cybertruck's 200 kilowatt hour pack by its 500 mile range, we come up with a figure of 0.4. Just keep this in the back of your mind. If we do the same thing for the F-150 Lightning, divide a 170 kilowatt hour battery pack by a 300 mile range, we come up with a much higher figure. Notice the difference. We got 0.4 or almost 0.6. Now, how can we make this a tangible number to try and understand a little bit more clearly? Quite easy. All we need to do is divide one figure by the other, and voila. It appears that Tesla's battery efficiency is about 40% greater than that of Ford. So what exactly was Gordon talking about? No fucking idea. Now, to be fair, until the Ford F-150 Lightning and the Cybertruck have actually started deliveries to customers, we won't know for certain the exact range that each of these vehicles will achieve, nor the exact size of each battery pack. But I'm just illustrating a point. Gordon has no fucking idea what he's talking about, and it's embarrassing for him to insinuate that Ford has a battery advantage. Honestly though, I know Gordon doesn't believe what he's saying.
And then you look at all the other cars that are coming along. I'm looking at my spreadsheet here. The Audi Q4, the BMW i3, the Mercedes EQA, the Volvo XC40, the Recharge, the Volkswagen ID4, the Ford Mustang Mach-E. There's literally 20s of cars coming that are going to challenge Tesla.
If by challenge Tesla you mean draw even more attention to their superior products and far greater value proposition, then Gordon, you have hit the nail on the head. We heard recently there was an influx of interest in Tesla, a huge number of new orders. Tesla had to raise prices by a few $100s on many of their vehicles just to cater to this influx of demand on the back of Ford's F-150 Lightning reveal. Why? Some customers, not everybody, but some customers who have actively functioning grey matter think, let me do some homework. Search online. What else is available? Wait a minute. Damn, that Cybertruck, those specs are good. Damn, that price is good. Damn, that Model 3 is pretty good too. Damn, the Model Y, I might order one of these. This is literally what's happening. When you have such a superior product, much greater value proposition, there's some customers who are going to do the homework and realize, oh, well, I heard about this Ford F-150, but now I'm buying a Tesla. The same thing's going to happen with many other so-called competitors. People who do their homework, which is not every consumer, I admit that, but many who do will realize that you can't beat a Tesla in terms of cost, value, price, performance, nothing. Therefore, every time the new company launches a new product, spends tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even billions of dollars trying to promote this thing, all it's going to do is ultimately boost Tesla's sales. And yes, they will still sell some of those vehicles that they're trying to promote. But the point is, every time another company is promoting or launching a new product, more eyeballs look to Tesla, and some of those consumers go, damn son, I can't argue with the price and performance on this, so I'm going to buy a Tesla instead. Another of the many reasons why Tesla doesn't need to spend a cent on paid advertising.
They're losing market share. This is a company that we think is on the downdrift.
Look, I just need to take a moment here to give Gordon a round of applause and a little bit of credit. I mean, honestly, I don't know how he says this shit with a straight face. Tesla is a company we think is on the downdrift. Oh, Gordon, Jesus Christ, dude.
And if you look at anything from market share,
this is something that we're going to hear more and more from the fudsters, cherry-picking data going, oh, look, Tesla's losing share of the electric vehicle market or the global vehicle market, rah, 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 rah. Look, let's just boil this down to real simple stuff, okay? Let me ask you guys a question. If Tesla continues to sell more vehicles every single quarter, and they continue to do this for years to come, does their share of the global vehicle market or their share of the electric vehicle market matter? No. The only thing that matters is if they continue to sell more and more vehicles quarter after quarter, which is exactly what they are doing and will continue to do. The fudsters like to spin this and cherry pick it. It looks bad. Oh my gosh, 12 new companies launched their electric vehicles this quarter. Suddenly, some consumers bought them. Therefore, as a percent of the overall electric vehicle market, Tesla lost market share. But again, this does not matter. Some people just cannot seem to get this one, but it's quite simple. If Tesla keeps selling more vehicles every quarter, that's what matters. Pretty Pretty simple, right? But of course, the FUDsters are going to repeat this over and over and over because in the next few years, we're going to see tons of new companies launching their electric vehicle products. And yes, they'll sell some, but that doesn't matter. What matters is if Tesla keeps selling more vehicles. Duh.
And if you look at anything from market share to earnings to revenues.
So here we are looking at Tesla's Q1 2021 earnings report, key metrics, quarterly. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you notice a trend? Vehicle deliveries, trending up. Operating cash flow, trending up. Free cash flow, trending up. Net income, trending up. Adjusted EBITDA, trending up. Maybe this will make things a little bit clearer. The trailing 12 month, smooth things out a little bit. Do we notice a trend? That's right, vehicle deliveries, growing. Operating cash flow, growing. Free cash flow, growing. Net income, growing. Adjusted EBITDA, growing. What the fuck is Gordon talking about?
This company is really losing, and I think people keep looking out into the future, but if you look at what's actually happening today, the outlook is quite dismal.
So I've got to say, I'm actually impressed. Gordon said something that was grounded in reality. Investors, people are actually looking out into the future. That's right, a long-term investment horizon for Tesla. Now, pretty much everything else Gordon has said is complete and utter horseshit, but that's actually a relevant point. The investors who buy Tesla stock today, who have functioning brains, generally speaking, are doing so not because of today, but because of the distant future. They see the potential. They see Tesla getting to 20 plus million vehicles delivered per year by the end of this decade.
Gordon, though, are you suggesting this company's not going to continue to grow? Because I don't think anybody's making that argument. I think the question is just how fast they grow.
Right. That's my point, Andrew. Yes. If you look at outside of China in Q1, US, Europe, rest of the world, excluding China.
Just want to point out the obvious here. Gordon Johnson currently in the midst of picking cherries. If you exclude this data point and this data point and all the other data points that don't go with my narrative, then
their volumes, not revenues, their volumes were actually down sequentially. And again, that Q1 growth in China, it was just 10,000 units incrementally more in Q1 versus Q4 of last year. And in April, the first month of this year, they've gotten completely eviscerated in China. Their sales in April were down 66% month over month. Li Auto, NIO, XPeng combined, their sales were up 13% month over month in April. And if you look at what's going on in China, just this past weekend, China basically said we're not allowing Tesla cars in our compounds anymore. And if you look at the news cycle in China, it's been extremely negative against Tesla, from everything from FSD accidents that they're blaming on their FSD technology to the Wompy wheels to the brake spelling, et cetera. These are all in state-affiliated news sites that China literally is putting out almost daily. No news gets past the CCP without the CCP approval. So, yeah, we think there's a problem in China as well.
One relevant point there from Gordon Johnson. There is a lot of FUD about Tesla in China, not just China, but he said something accurate there. Well done, Gordon. It's good that you're throwing in a little bit of truth with all the horse shit. But again, FUD has nothing to do with the actual company. Gordon could be saying, hey, some idiot called Gordon the Genius Johnson keeps appearing on CNBC spouting drivel and lies about Tesla. Therefore, that's a negative thing about the company. Makes no sense, right? Just because there's FUD doesn't mean it's grounded in reality. Just because there's dickheads in the media, just because there's people with agendas hating on Tesla, people claiming the brakes fails when Tesla has data proving they didn't, etc. That's got nothing at all to do with the company's execution. It's a moot point.
Gordon, we got to run, but I got to tell you, every time you come on, of course, the Tesla bulls come out and say, why do you let this guy on TV? He's saying all that, what's going on here?
I'm really happy to hear this line of questioning from CNBC. Now, I've got to say, it's also kind of impressive that somehow this feedback's getting back to them. They don't live entirely in their own bubble. Maybe some people are tweeting at the panelists on Twitter. Maybe they're seeing some YouTube content, reading comments somewhere. But in either case, it's nice to know, and it's really great to hear them raise this point directly with Gordon. Every time you appear on CNBC, people question, why the fuck do you continue to let this idiot come back on your show?
Just for transparency's sake, do you have, what's your position, to the extent you have any position, related to Tesla?
Well, listen, I'm a sell-side analyst. I can't invest directly in stocks that I cover. But, I mean, keep in mind, the Tesla bulls said, they're saying that sales in China were going to be strong. They were down 66.
Now, I can't help but notice that Gordon seems to be unable to directly answer that question. It's like he's in perpetual FUD mode. He just can't actually directly say something. Maybe this is just his personality. I'm not really sure. But you notice there, Andrew asks a direct question about, do you have a position in Tesla stock? Instead of Gordon saying, no, I do not, Gordon says, I can't because blah, blah, blah. And then immediately jumps in and almost kind of changes the subject and goes, blah, 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 goes on a big tangent. Now, I'm not saying that Gordon lied then. I'm just pointing out his nature, the very way that he answers questions or doesn't answer questions, a little bit suspicious. I mean, maybe that's just his personality. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Gordon answered that question accurately and honestly?
I wanted you to say that on the air. That's all I wanted you to say, because I think people asked the question. I wanted you to say, I didn't want you to say anything, but I wanted to have the proper answer on the record. So you don't own any stock, long or short Tesla, right?
I can't. As a sell-side analyst, you can't own the stock.
Absolutely.
So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I had a lot of DMs coming through, people requesting that I did this reaction. Of course, I can't help myself. Every time I see this kind of insane FUD in the media, I just can't help but counter it. See you guys in the next video. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget, if you'd like up to $250 in free crypto bonuses with BlockFi, use the link in the description. You can also get 2 free stocks with WeBull and a free stock with Stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.